In England, parliamentary development took place in 400 years, 1215 to 1688. In France, 2 years. 1789 revolution, 1791 first constitution. Forced change, forced. Principles were modern, no doubt. These principles were modern. But aristocracy, king was not. In one day, king lost all the power. Aristocracy was dissatisfied. Clergy, Pope, religion was opium, religion is opium, religion will be opium. Sometimes we used to take the rickshaw from the main gate of Wajiram, main building of Wajiram to the other buildings of Wajiram. And I have a habit of interacting with the rickshawalas. I used to ask the name of rickshawalas, Bhaiya, what is your name? Bhaiya, Ram Dulare. Ram Dulare, why don't you become Rambo? Or he said, my name is Jagmohan. Jagmohan, you should become Jackson. Means, Bhaiya, alright, you adopt Christianity. You'll get money, you'll get job. Your children will get good education. Arey Bhaiya, you are asking us to leave Sri Shankarji. One day, I did not ask the name of a rickshaw and I started asking him. I said, you should adopt Christianity. And he immediately pulled down the brakes and he started screaming, Ya Allah. I said, Bhaiya, sorry, Bhaiya, sorry, Bhaiya, sorry. He said, no, get out from the rickshaw. He was angry, he was shivering. No, get down from the rickshaw. Arey Bhaiya, I said, sorry, Bhaiya. He said, no. Hafid ji says very correct thing. I said, what? He says ki you can meet evil in any form. Mare, I said, you idiot. Hafid ji says only half thing. You can meet God also in any form. शैतान ही किसी रूप में नहीं मिल सकता, भगवान भी किसी भी रूप में मिल सकता है. And I said, stop shivering and slug. Get out from here, you idiot. Today, just imagine the country where 90% people were Catholics, you are taking out the power of a pope in one day. Human rights. Today people don't understand human rights. They are abusing each other. See the political leaders. They are abusing each other. Meesa Yadav, daughter of Lalu Yadav, Rajya Sabha member, she said once, Lalu, Modi is a gunda. Madam, you have the right to criticize in democracy, but you cannot do the personal attack. Mixed economy, a new currency. People refuse to do the exchange in new currency. So this new constitution, instead of promoting peace and stability, created confusion and conflict. The new constitution, instead of creating peace and stability, created confusion and conflict. And in this scenario, two new developments. First development, Louis XVI tried to escape from France. You sold your car to someone. You signed the sell letter. After signing the sell letter, you went to the police station and said, this man has forcefully taken sign from me. What will happen? The sell letter will become illegal. Now the matter will go into the court. Who was the signing authority for the new constitution? King. He is running away. First, the constitution became illegal. But while he was running away, he committed the mistake of Sundar Yadav. The mistake which was done by Sundar Yadav in Ganga Jal, he also committed the same mistake. In woman attire, wearing a male shoes. Both husband and wife were caught on the borders of Austria and brought back. Second, Pilnitz Declaration. Pilnitz Declaration. Austria, in association with other European powers, declares war on France. Mainly to save the royal family, but indirectly to suppress the revolution. Now, constitution has become illegal. Foreign invasion, confusion and conflict. Every section is dissatisfied. This is the situation of France. Constitution becomes illegal. Foreign invasion, confusion and conflict. Every section is dissatisfied. This led to the next phase. Fourth phase. National Assembly to National Convention. So we were discussing about the fourth phase. National Assembly to National Convention. Background is, first, constitution has become illegal. France is facing foreign invasion. Country is facing confusion and conflict. Political, economic instability. Monarch. In this critical situation, monarch was running away. So monarchy completely lost all its status in France. Power was completely in the hand of National Assembly. So National Assembly organizes National Convention. National Convention. And National Convention the first priority of National Convention was to frame the new constitution, and this led to the coming of the second constitution. Let's see the features of the second constitution. Second constitution, second constitution. First feature, constitutional republic. Now France was declared as a constitutional republic. End of the monarchy. Monarchy was completely abolished. Directory. Directory with 5 members, council got the charge. Every member has a tenure of 1 year. Directory has a 5-member council. Every member has a period of 3 months. Then the 2 houses, upper house and lower house. Upper house and lower house. Proposals were made in upper house, it was passed in lower house. Indirect elections. This was the change at the higher level. Second feature, religion of reason. Religion of reason. Under it, religion became a personal affair of an individual. Personal. It has nothing to do with the state. And France was declared as a secular state. Very noble step. France was declared as a secular state. Secular. Third feature, human and civil rights was maintained. The additional feature was state interference in the personal life of the people. Example, dress code. Fourth, communism. Communist ideology got the support. Fixing of wages. Fixing of wages, fixing of prices. Attack on capitalism. Capitalists were declared as enemies. Second constitution. Again the changes were noble. Changes were noble again. Changes were noble. But first constitution created confusion and conflict. Second constitution increased confusion and conflict. Akbar took 50 years to strengthen and stabilize Mughal Empire in India. 50. Iltutmish took 26 years. Jawaharlal Nehru took 17 years. Changes require time. A country is passing through political, economic and social crisis. And you are giving 3 months time to a director. When a director came out with a solution, his tenure was over. And once again, at least in the first constitution, symbolic monarch was present. Here everything was abolished. People were unable to understand all these things. What was happening? Secularism, very noble concept. But the France of 1790. Today a teacher has been killed in France. Today. 1790. %90 Catholic population. I told you the example of a rickshawala. State, people were not able to understand human right. You can attack, criticize the government. You cannot abuse. Chaukidar chor hai. This is not the way. Respect the post of a prime minister. Criticize. No doubt. You have the complete right of criticism. And then state cannot interfere in the personal life of the people. No one can interfere in the personal life of the people. I see many of the people were bothering about the dress and fooding habit of others. Please leave them. That is not your duty. That is not your duty. Some people say, "Yaar, girls of present generation are not wearing proper dress." Why you are worried? If they don't wear the dress, why you are worried? Either you close your eyes or you see, finish. Some of the elders came from my village to Delhi. And I have a dharamshala in Delhi, so whenever people come from my village, they go and stay in that dharamshala. And then some are very demanding. I want to see Qutub Minar, I want to see Red Fort. I said, what you will see there? You don't have any sense of art and architecture. What you will see? No, no, we want to see. And then a gang was there. He said to me, we want to go to CP and see that Freedom Park, the big flag in that park. I said, that park is closed. They said, no, no, we have heard that park is open. You take us there. I took them there. Now in the parks, many couples sit and do yoga and meditation and all. Put the hand on one another and then they meditate, they discuss. And when these old age people entered into the park, they started staring the couples. I got a call from someone. I was busy on my mobile, and when my conversation was over, I looked back, there was no one behind me. I said, where these people have gone? I started searching them. They were standing in front of a couple and they were staring the couple. I said to them, Gitao, what? They said, see what is happening. Kalyug, extreme Kalyug. The world is moving towards destruction. I said, Tao, this is not to see, this is to do. Come here. This is not the duty of the state. To see what people are eating, to see what people are wearing. And capitalism is the enemy. I said extremism is a feature of average mind. Again, initially each and every section was dissatisfied. Now each and every section is angry, irritated. First constitution. Just do the comparative study. Constitutional monarchy, constitutional republic, law of clergy, religion of reason, human and civil rights, with state interference, mixed economy, emphasis on communism, an attack on capitalism. First constitution created confusion and conflict. Created confusion and conflict. Second constitution increased confusion and conflict. Instead of giving peace and stability, second constitution increased confusion and conflict. And in this scenario, National Convention got divided into number of groups. National Convention got divided into number of groups. Jacobins, left wing, mainly the people from the working class. Zerandist, right wing, basically traders, capitalist businessmen. The hardliners, liberals. Now, when India got independence, 1947, who were present in Constituent Assembly? Dr. Ambedkar, Nehru, J.B. Kripalani, see the leaders of 1947, Ram Manohar Lohia, doctorate degree in economics from Germany, Berlin University. See the leaders of 2020. 2020 is India. See the leaders. Should I write the names? Tejasvi Yadav, Amit Shah, so and so Tiwari, if we would have got these type of leaders in 1947, there would have been no India. They are very mature, understanding. Ambedkar is such a great man, and when I see people doing cheap activities on his name, I want them to be slaughtered. You idiots. He wants you to become God, and you aren't satisfied with being a Dalit. Bhaiya, I am Dalit, bhaiya. Dr. Ambedkar wanted the suppressed, depressed people to become God. Atma Deepo Bhava. And you don't have a common sense. You are writing on a t-shirt, I am a Dalit, and you are moving. This is what the politicians want. Till Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Dalits, Muslims will remain in India. When I was in class 10th and 11th, I used to think, I used to go through the history books, 10th especially. I used to think, okay, the people of India, why they were not, they were so much in number. And these traders of East India Company, they were few in number. Why they were beaten? That was a very big surprise for me. And we do not have a tradition of asking questions to the teachers. But when I started connecting and understanding, then I thought, it's very easy to rule this country. Divide. People were fools, people are fools, people will be fools. 20% mature, they side with the rulers. Beat them. Do whatever you want to them. So as you see the leaders of India today, same was the situation of France in 1790s. Country is in trouble, country is in crisis, and they all are fighting among themselves. No common consensus. When Constituent Assembly was formed, 1946, Britishers were very clear. Indians will never come to common conclusion. For the next 100 years, Indian Constitution will never come into existence and we will rule indirectly. 1914, Constitution was completed. 3 years. 1949, Constitution was completed. Indians said Constitution is completed. They said, you completed? Well, yes. There was nothing to write, cut and paste. That was the maturity of the leaders of that time. You read Dr. Ambedkar, irrespective of religion and caste, please. You read Lohia, Gandhi. I tell you, you will fall in love with all these leaders. You will fall in love with all these leaders. Clear-cut vision. Clear-cut vision. Selfless service. With the goal of making India great. We survived for more than 70 years. We will again survive, don't worry. All the people, all these idiots will be beaten, the time is coming. Country is in crisis, country is in trouble, no common consensus, no common agreement. And whenever human beings fail to solve the situation, then nature solves it. This situation led to the emergence of a very dangerous man, Robespierre. Maximilian Robespierre. And he established a reign of terror. He established reign of terror in France. Abolition of slavery, promotion to communism, suppression of women. But the most important feature was guillotine. You have seen fodder machine in the villages? The machine which is used to cut the fodder? Guillotine. That guillotine was a larger version of that guillotine. He goes into the parliament, he says, I want complete silence here. No more disturbance, no more shouting on each other. John Paul Marat, a very famous journalist, Ramesh Kumar of that time, he got up, freedom of expression. Well, take him out. He was taken to guillotine. Olampa Digos, the woman activist, she said, you cannot do this. Bola, take her out. Thousands of people were killed within a week. Complete silence. Louis XVI, his wife Marie Antoinette, they were also taken to guillotine. Complete silence, complete silence in Constituent Assembly. Complete. One day, he came out of his office, Robespierre, and he was alone. People saw him, they caught him, they took him to guillotine. He was also killed. This man created intellectual void in France. This man created intellectual void in France. And that prepared the ground for the emergence of Napoleon. Fifth phase, Napoleon. National Convention to Napoleon. Write down a new heading. We'll discuss it under a new heading. Napoleon. New heading, Napoleon. Three subheadings. Emergence as a power. Reforms. Blunders. Emergence as a power, reforms, blunders. Write down the first heading, emergence as a power. Napoleon. History is the story of aristocracy, dangerous souls, the people who understand natural laws. There are two types of laws: natural, man-made. Natural laws cannot be broken day and night. There is no way to stop the day or to stop only night. Man-made laws can be amended, manipulated, broken. All those who follow man-made laws are common people. Very important. You have to pay attention. Like nature, the first feature of natural law is discipline. First feature of natural law is discipline. You cannot break the discipline. Death is a natural law. No one escaped from it. No one. Even the father of God did not escape. Dashrath. Raja Dashrath. Even God on this earth finally died. Discipline. First feature of natural laws. And if you are disciplined in your laws, in your rules, in your regulations, I was very much surprised. People are so much in panic. People are so much in panic. Mirzapur season 2, Mirzapur season 2. The excitement I was watching in the people, if with that excitement, if you have watched, the excitement which you had to watch Mirzapur season 2, with the same excitement if you do yoga and meditation, sir, you will become Superman. In India, people are excited, majority, for wrong things. What you got after watching Mirzapur season 2? They would have given, possibly I heard, they would have given a third, second, next lollipop. Mirzapur season 3rd. Ramadhir Singh was correct in Gangs of Wasipur. That people will remain idiots until and unless cinema is there. The people of this country will remain idiots. I was seeing the excitement of the people. Napoleon, story of a middle class person dreaming to become the emperor. Medieval world. It was not possible. It was not possible because there was a concept of royal blood. Only the people of royal blood can sit on the throne. He was not from a royal blood. Constitution was there which has declared France as a republic. But this man turns down everything. Please pay attention when I discuss him. I said stories with messages. Study to learn. Learn to understand. Understanding leads to greatness. In India, people study to pass. People study to pass the examination. Now, emergence as a power. He was born on that island, Corsica. It was an Italian island, but Genoa gifted Corsica to France. When Genoa gifted Corsica to France, he became a French citizen. He completed his studies in a French army school and he started his career as an artillery in charge in French army. Artillery. And his first posting was Toulon, the famous port of France. During French Revolution, he was given the charge to protect this port. And when entire France was burning, this was the only area where there was no violence. The report was given to directory in Paris. Okay, sir, this is the only area where there is no violence. Directory said, who's the man in charge of this area? And then directory was given the report, okay, sir, this man, Napoleon, is in charge. Well, this man, what is doing there in Toulon? Call him to Paris. He was called to Paris. He was given the charge to give protection to Paris. And when he got the charge to protect Paris, he gives the order of search operation for arms and ammunition. People have taken arms and ammunition from Bastille. He gives the order. Collect all arms and ammunition from the people. And while the search for arms and ammunition was going on, one day, a young boy came running into his office with a gun. and he was shouting, I will not give the gun of my father. And behind the boy was this lady Josephine. Behind the boy was this lady Josephine, widow of a French capitalist, having children, having relation with all the big personalities of France, including the French president, Barra. She was a known face in Paris. And when Napoleon saw her, he left the boy. He said, Beta, you don't want to give the gun? Go. Or chahiye? You want more guns? This is a very old formula from Stone Age to come closer to a woman. You see in the societies today also, people entertain others' children. A very beautiful girl, very beautiful boy. Leave. Mother is also beautiful, leave her. Very ancient formula. And from here starts the friendship between Josephine and Napoleon. Friendship turned into affair, and this is called as aristocratic affair. Affair is very important in life. Very important. And affairs are of two types. One is aristocratic, other is Majnu type. Aristocratic affair. When an affair leads to upliftment in life, it is aristocratic. Example, Robert Badra. When an affair leads to downfall in life, that is Majnu type. When the Caliph heard about Majnu, that a man is crying for a woman, he did not believe. Kings generally don't believe certain things. He did not believe that a man is crying for a woman. People said, yes. And he said, no, I want to see that man. And when he saw Majnu in rags, he felt pity on Majnu. And then he said to his officers, bring 10 most beautiful women of empire. The 10 women were brought and put in front of Majnu, and then Caliph said to Majnu, you take any one of them, or you take all the 10, but don't cry. Majnu went and saw the face of all the women, and then he turned towards Caliph and said, my Laila is not here. Caliph said, slap him, give 10-15 slaps and chase him away. This idiot will not do anything in the world. You love someone? Great. I have 10 lakh rupees. I am giving 10 lakh rupees to someone. The person to whom I am giving, he runs away. Who is in loss? The person who is run away because I was giving him money. It's my love. I was giving to him or her. To whom I was giving, he or she runs away. Who is in loss? Why you are crying? Your love is with you. Give to someone else who is in need. I have seen people are in depression. I will commit suicide. You rascal, you better commit suicide. Slap yourself. Idiot. I will commit suicide. Aristocratic affair and Majnu type. This affair, friendship turned into affair. An affair turned into marriage. One day France got the news, Paris, that Napoleon has married Josephine. She was elder also. And when Napoleon married Josephine, he got the gift. She had good relations with Barra, French president. So he got the gift. Promotion. From in charge of artillery to Commander-in-Chief of French Army. 2, 3 people have got this type of promotion. It's not a promotion, it's a leap basically. Robert Clive, Clive to Governor of Bengal, as to Governor of Fort William, 1756. Leap. Smriti Irani, HRD Minister after losing Lok Sabha election. Leap. And as Commander-in-Chief, his first expedition was, his first target was Italian expedition. Austria, France, Russia, England. On this side, German states, rich in coal and iron. On this side, Italian states. There was no Italy. And Italian states, Gujarat of Europe. Ports. The ports of Italian states connected Europe with Mediterranean and West Asia, and from West Asia to Europe. Austria took the advantage of the internal crisis of France and was dominating both the areas. And this was against the interest of France. So his first priority was Italian expedition. Commander-in-Chief, French Army. First target, Italian expedition. Army was demoralized. Army was demoralized. 3 commanders have already resigned. Financial bankruptcy is 1781. 1797. 16 years. "16 years, army has not got the proper salary." See the background. That promotion was not a boon for him, it was a much bigger challenge. But I said, hero means one who plays in odd situation. And middle class, if they have to rise, they have to play in odd situation. And the strength to play in odd situation comes from yoga and meditation. Your mind is such a big gift to you. I don't know. I don't understand why don't you read the literature of India. You read that autobiography of Yogi. Read Vivekanand. Read Ignited Minds of APJ Kalam. Who has stopped you? You people attend motivation sessions. Motivation is for workers, laborers. King does not require any motivation. The day king will require motivation, his story as a king will come to an end. Kings are self-motivated. A strong mind will always maintain your motivation. From where this strong mind will come? Meditation. We have such a great literature. We have stories of such a great personalities. At least India is not short of that. Why don't you return back to it? Krishna, he got education in which foreign university? The people of India are dying to go to foreign colleges and university. I have gone to Oxford, so what? Harvard, Bhaiya is doing research in Harvard, so let him do. Come back. Harvard. Yes, you are doing research in Harvard, that is a good thing, that should be appreciated, no doubt. But you cannot create. I see the people here. People rush to the politicians, bureaucrats to touch the feet. The way personal glorification is done in this country. Very bad. Krishna? No Harvard, no Oxford, no Philadelphia. Buddha? Ambedkar went. That is an achievement. That should be appreciated. There should be no glorification for all these things. Bhaiya, IAS has come, bhaiya, IAS. Bhaiya, IAS, bhaiya. Bhaiya, ex-MLA. Arey, nalayak. Madam? Ex-MLA. And I see people putting a sticker on their vehicles. Ex-MLA, ex-Pradhan. Majority of this country are fools. He goes to the army. Soldiers disappointed, frustrated, demoralized. He has a mark on his left arm. He shows the left arm to the soldiers. He says, see, I am the blessed Son of God. I will never be defeated. He gives confidence to the soldiers. Not only confidence, he gives them dream also. He says, you are suffering from poverty, your life is already a hell. Come with me, I will take you to the land of gold and silver. Italian cities. Somnath, Vadodara, Surat. He gives two things. Babar, before entering into India, he says, after winning the first battle of Panipat, he says, never again the beggary of Kabul. Never again the beggary of Kabul. Confidence and dream. And with that confidence and dream, he takes the soldier, rams into Austria, defeats Austria. That was a surprising thing for Austria. Compels Austria for Treaty of Campo Formio. Treaty of Campo Formio. Important provisions of the treaty. Rhineland, the German area, rich in coal and iron. Rhineland, was given to France. Area rich in coal and iron. Rhineland. Lombardy and Netherlands. Lombardy, Italy. Lombardy and Netherlands also came under the control of France. France was accepted as the guardian of Italian states. To satisfy the sentiment and requirement of Austria, to satisfy the sentiment and requirement of Austria, Venice was given to Austria. Venice was given to Austria. Now see, 1781, France became financially bankrupt. 1797, Treaty of Campo Formio. How many years? 16. For 16 years, France was facing economic and political instability. Past 16 years, France was facing economic, political instability. Soldiers have not got proper salary. French industries were starving for raw material, coal and iron. French businessmen were suffering. Whenever you help a person in need, you can help anyone. But you should help the person in need if you have the potential. Please. Don't see who he is he. He may be your friend, he may be your relative, he may be your enemy also. But if you have a potential to help someone in need, please do it. There are certain things which are called the act of God. And if you do them, you become the representative of God, and one of them is helping the needy. A person is drowning in water. No one is around him. And then another person appears in front of him, throws a rope to him and saves him. What he says, the person who is saved? That God came and saved him. You try, his father is seriously ill and you helped him financially. You will become God for him. Whenever you will help a person who is in dire need and in suffering, you will become God. See? Rhineland. Industrial revolution is going on. He is providing the area of coal and iron to Rhineland. Again, the strategical area and area of resources. Italian ports come under the command of France. Who is the main rival of France? Austria. Austria is a landlocked country. He gives Venice. Where is Venice? Eastern Europe. Who's sitting in Eastern Europe? Russia. He very smartly turns Austria towards Russia. From here starts the rivalry between Austria and Russia. He reduces the pressure of Austria on France. He becomes God for the people of France. And when he returns back after the Treaty of Campo Formio, the people of France were shouting, Napoleon, Napoleon, Napoleon. Modi, Modi, Modi. This became the pain for directory. Whenever the person of middle class starts rising, that becomes the pain for the aristocracy around him. How it is possible? Aristocracy, they make a circle. They will never allow the middle class to enter into that circle. Never. You have to do the extraordinary effort. Why majority of middle class people run towards IS? That is the easiest way in India to enter into aristocracy. Otherwise, aristocracy, you go and meet your leaders of your caste. They will never ask you to sit with you until and unless they have some interest with you. Everyone is ordinary. You have to do certain extra things. You become extraordinary. Everyone gets up at 6 a.m. in the morning. You are getting up at 3 a.m. in the morning. That is extra. You are extraordinary. The day you start adding extra things in your life, you become extraordinary. Directory was in pain. Advani was in pain. Who is Advani? Barra. Barra has given him the task. You got the ticket against Narendra Modi during the wave of 2014. You are demanding ticket from the Congress and Congress gives you the ticket. You take, contest from Banaras. Congress knows you will not win. No one will win. In case you defeated Mr. Modi, that will not be digestible for the old coterie of Congress. Here the same thing happened. Directly thought that other commanders have run away, he will also run away, but he was not here to run away. He had his own dreams. And people with big dreams watching to the sky never surrender, and for them opportunities are very important. When he returns back, directory says, his next assignment, England. You have to go to England. He said, I will not go to England. I know your plan. You will send me to England. You will inform the authorities there and then I will be killed. I am not going to England. Directory said, you are defying the orders. Ambani and Adani, they were sitting in the meeting and then Ambani got up and said, you are defying the orders. He said, no sir. I want to work for you, sir. Ambani said, for me? How? He said, sir, I want to go to Egypt. I will occupy Egypt and I will make Egypt as the base to enter into India. And after occupying Hindustan, I will give Hindustan to you. Ambani kept the hand on the shoulder of Napoleon and said, you want to work for Geo? He said, yes sir. Carry on. Ambani turns towards Advani. Keep quiet. Hamara bachcha hai. Our son. If you said anything, we'll pull out your dhoti. Sit down there. Campo Formio turns Napoleon as this superstar of France, god of France. Then he goes for Egyptian expedition. His elder brother, was also present in that meeting. He said, bhai, actually these capitals of France, they offered him, you want to become the president of France? He said, no, I don't want. His brother said, bhai, they were offering, Lucia was his brother, Lucia. He asked him, bhai, they were offering you the post of president. Why you rejected? He said, your brain is in your knees. Do some massage here. I am playing now, don't bother. His brother said, but bhai, why you did this? I simply want to know. He said, after a long period of tension and turmoil, I have given peace and stability to France. I have given a dose of opium to the people. Now when I will go to Egypt, tension and turmoil will again increase. And it has to increase to such a level that when I come back, the people of France should lie down on my feet and ask me to sit on the throne of France. Lucia said, if tension and turmoil will not increase, then तुझे किस लिए छोड़ के जा रहा हूं? Why I am leaving you back? He goes to Egyptian expedition. He defeats the local ruler in the battle of Abu Bakr. He defeats the local ruler in the battle of Abu Bakr, and then he starts a new drama in France, Egyptology. Studying of pyramids. His soldiers, his left commander said, sir, we are here to occupy Egypt. He said, yes. Art and architecture is a very important part of mains. Bhaiya was preparing mains. His commanders were lying down on the banks of River Nile. Bhaiya was preparing. Dravida art, Nagar art, Besar art. Every day he was getting the news from France. Paris is burning, Lausanne is burning, Amiens is burning. Finally, he was defeated in Egypt by British Admiral Nelson. He escapes from Egypt to France, and when he reaches France, as per his calculation, the people lie down on his feet. Please don't go out, and we want you to become the leader of the country. And then he organizes Saint-Cloud Convention. Saint-Cloud is the name of a palace. The representatives of all the parties were invited in this convention, and he addresses the convention and says, the people of this country want me to be the president of this country. Any objection? Yashwant Sinha, Jaswant Singh, Murli Manohar Joshi, they all raised the hand. No, you have manipulated the people. He said, take them out. Bring them to the main office. They all were taken out. Next day again he comes. He repeats the same thing. Any objection? People said, those who had objection, they did not come. And then people started shouting, Napoleon, Napoleon, Napoleon. And in 1799 he becomes the President of France. What was his first step? Getting the identity by performing. Second step, stardom by Campo Formio. Third step, ruler. Study to learn. Reforms of Napoleon. Reforms of Napoleon. Very important. So very important to discuss this story, and you will be able to connect with the present situation. Now, 1789 to 1799 for our past 10 years, and if we see 1781 to 1799 for past 18 years, country was in economic and political crisis. Country was facing foreign invasion. And what is the most important requirement for growth and development? Peace and stability for a nation. Peace and stability prepares the ground for growth and development of the nation. So his first step was peace with Europe. This was his first step. Peace with Europe. Peace with Europe. In 2014, Mr. Modi came into power. 1799, Napoleon came into power. 2008 to 2014, country was in economic crisis. Regular violation of ceasefire agreement by Pakistan. 1789 to 1799, country was in economic and political crisis. And peace and stability prepares the ground for growth and development. 1947, India was born. India got independence. And Nehru immediately adopts for Panchasheel, peaceful coexistence. Mr. Modi immediately invites, during elections he was very aggressive. Pakistan will take one head, we will take 100 heads. But when elections are over, he gives the invitation to the Indian neighbors, SAARC nations, and the first invitation was given to Nawaz Sharif. Nawaz Sharif comes to India. He gifts a Pashmina shawl for the mother of Mr. Modi. Message was clear. Pashmina shawl from POK. Message was very clear from Nawaz Sharif. The Kashmir belongs to Pakistan. When Nawaz Sharif was returning back, Mr. Modi gifted a sari from Bangladesh for the mother of Nawaz Sharif. He also gave the message, don't misbehave, otherwise we will repeat the story of Eastern Pakistan. This was called as mother diplomacy. Mother diplomacy. Napoleon did letter diplomacy. He started writing letters to the European rulers. He wrote to George V of England, what is the use of war in this era of growth and development? George V said, there is no use. And this led to Treaty of Amiens. This led to Treaty of Amiens between England and France. Treaty of Peace between England and France. By this treaty, England returned back the French colonies taken away during French Revolution as a gesture of friendship. England accepted Napoleon as the ruler of France. And France decided to be in peace with England. And when England did the peace, the example was followed by Austria. Treaty of Lunéville. Treaty of Lunéville between Austria and France. Peace treaty. Then Treaty of Tilsit. Treaty of peace between Russia and France. And in this way, Napoleon was successful in establishing peace and stability with the entire Europe. This was the first step of Napoleon. Second, economic reforms. Economic reforms. 1799 Napoleon came into power. 1922 Mussolini comes into power, Italy. 1934 Hitler comes into power, Germany. And 2014 Mr. Modi came into power. Now the two common feature in all the four people is, when they came into power, their country was suffering from economic crisis. And second common feature in all the four people is, they all gave dreams to their people. Napoleon said, good days ahead. Mussolini said, the old glory of Rome. Hitler said, Lavasaram. And Mr. Modi said, Achhe din. This was the mistake of all the four. Giving dreams in the background of economic crisis. Mr. Modi's ad in 2014, बहुत हुई पेट्रोल डीजल की मार, अब की बार मोदी सरकार. You have seen enough of rise in the petrol diesel prices. This time Modi government. Every political party does the stunt. It's not only Mr. Modi or BJP. Every political party does the stunt. But the stunt should be at least 30% fulfilled. 40, good government. 50, supreme government. 60, eternal government. No government can fulfill 70% demand. Now what Mr. Modi started doing to fulfill his promise? Let's see what Mr. Modi started doing to fulfill his promise. First thing, end of planning commission, Niti Aayog. Now it is not the time for planned economy, because planned economy will take time. He starts roaming in entire world for FDI. Australia, America, Saudi. He was returning from Russia. He made an emergency landing in Pakistan on the day of Nawaz Sharif's birthday. He goes and touches the feet of the mother of Nawaz Sharif and she gives the blessing, ki udta rahe beta, carry on flying. Then he gives the slogan, Make in India. Not made in India, make in India. He appeals and requests to all the foreign companies, big companies, at least he says to Apple, please set a plant in Greater Noida here. Our youth is roaming here and there and I have given a commitment to them. Apple said we can set up the plant, but then your youth is not well skilled. They put some cloth on their shoulder and roam like mafias. They chew the pan and the liquid of the pan comes down from the lips. And then Mr. Modi said, no, we'll control. So for this step, skill development. Skill development. The youth was asked to chew chewing gum with tulsi. Skill development. So whatever Mr. Modi did, see, but I never blame Mr. Modi for all the troubles in present economy. Mr. Singh is also responsible. Dr. Singh, 10 years he was the president, prime minister, economist, prime minister. He did not try to touch the basic reforms. Mr. Modi said right from the very beginning, I'm a chai wala. But Mr. Singh, Dr. Singh also committed the mistake. Whatever the problem is today, it's not because of only Mr. Modi. Mr. Modi's problem is that he has given dream at the time of crisis. What Mr. Modi did, Napoleon, agricultural reforms. Promotion to irrigation, bringing uncultivated land under cultivation, liberal attitude towards farmers in collecting land revenue, and this gave promotion to agricultural production. Promotion to agricultural production increased the production of food grains. Food is available. But food is not the only requirement. You have to provide employment to the people. You cannot dump everyone in agriculture. Agriculture provides periodical employment and periodical income. And you cannot dump everyone in agriculture. Industries are missing. So what was the important step of Napoleon to give immediate employment? Promotion to public works. Promotion to public works, canals, roads. Bringing important ports under the control of French government to promote trade and commerce. Fourth, establishing Bank of France to strengthen currency system. Now what is the common in the two reforms? These two types of reforms are called as beauty parlor reforms. These two types of reforms are called as beauty parlor reforms. Beauty given by beauty parlor. A lady comes out of beauty parlor and then heavy rain, 200 centimeter rainfall. Lipstick comes here, eyeliner comes here, and the lady looks very horrific. This happened in France. This happened with Mussolini. This happened with Hitler. God save India. Beauty parlor reforms, superficial reforms. You are immediately able to handle the situation, but in longer run, see, Napoleon was successful in providing food and employment to his people. But in reality, French economy was still backward and weak. Beauty parlor reforms, superficial economic reforms. He was successful in handling the immediate problem of food and employment. But in longer run, French economy was still weak, backward and weak, because he neglected basic reforms. Which reforms? Agricultural, land reforms, industrialization, etc. Third, political reforms. Political reforms, political. People like Napoleon always dream big, according to common man. And he wanted to become the Emperor of France. Not only Emperor of France, Emperor of Europe. When he was posted in Paris, he took his mother to Palace of Versailles, and he said to his mother, "A day will come, I will gift you this palace." His mother said to him, "Ki beta, don't take liquor and alcohol in the daytime. It's not good." Possibly she did not knew the capabilities of Napoleon. Now, promises made in odd situation. Very important formula. Promises made in odd situation leads to dictatorship. Mussolini, Hitler, Napoleon. For Mr. Modi, you will decide. They all were dictators because they all made the promises in odd situation. First step. In political reforms, plebiscite. Plebiscite. Opinion of the people. Referendum, decision of the people. He organized plebiscite in France. And for that plebiscite, he framed the questions by himself. And the questions were framed in such a way that the answer for all the question was Napoleon. People were asked, who saved France from crisis? People said Napoleon. Who gifted the areas of resources to France? People said Napoleon. He got 38 lakh vote in support. 1562 in opposition. Ravish Kumar, Barkhadat. And then Napoleon said that the people of this country want me to become the Emperor of France. And in 1804, he became the Emperor of France. But then the path was still not easy for him, because legislature was there with the 2 houses. He established 4 houses. Senate, Council of State, Tribunate, and legislature. It's very challenging to understand 2 houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. 4 houses, 4. Proposal was made here. Proposal was discussed here. Proposal was made here. Proposal was read here. Proposal was discussed here. And proposal was to be passed here. And when proposal came to the 4th house, the members of 4th house passed the proposal to Napoleon. Sir, we don't know what is given in it. So finally all the decision on every proposal was taken by Napoleon. Next challenge. If the member of these houses will be elected by the people, they will speak in the interest of the people. Napoleon will again be in trouble. So change in voting pattern. People elected electoral college. People elected electoral college, and from this electoral college, he nominated the members of all the 4 houses. Election is there, but at the final stage, nomination. Who is nominating? Napoleon. So when the members of all the 4 houses are nominated by Napoleon, they will speak in the interest of Napoleon. 4th, bureaucracy. And bureaucrats were called as prefects. Their appointment, their transfer, their posting, everything was in the hand of Napoleon. How can the bureaucrats can go against Napoleon? So if you see this political reform from outside, you will find the democratic elements from outside. If you see it from outside, you will find the democratic elements. Plebiscite is there, legislature is there, election is there, bureaucracy is there. But when you analyze it from inside, it is completely based on autocracy. And the entire power is in the hand of Napoleon. Entire power is in the hand of Napoleon. 4th, cultural reforms. He constructed many palaces, forts. One of the palaces was gifted to Josephine, the Lady Luck. But his important step in cultural reform was construction of Ram Temple, Concord Agreement. 1802. First constitution said law of clergy, religion was subordinated to the state. Second constitution, religion of reason, France became a secular state. The Catholic population was angry. In this Concord Agreement, he says that Pope he says there is no hope from Pope. He says that Catholic religion is a religion of majority. Today Iran is an Islamic state. Islamic is what? Islam is the constitution of Iran. And when Islam is the constitution of Iran, who is the highest authority? Khomeini, Ayatollahs. He is not saying France is a Catholic state. No, pay attention. He is not saying France is a Catholic state. If he would have said France is a Catholic state, Catholicism would have turned into the constitution of France and Pope would have become the highest authority in France. The problem would have been over. He says Catholic religion is a religion of majority. What does it mean? It means nothing. So he failed to satisfy Pope and the Catholic population. Fifth, educational reforms. Education is the soul of family, society, and nation. What is the duty of education? Study. For what? To learn. For what? To understand. For what? To become great. It's not that you become qualified IAS, you are great, you become a minister, Kabir is also great. A person of a high understanding who promotes humanity, brotherhood, love, compassion. Anyone who's happy on this earth, irrespective of circumstances, is great. Education. Whenever you come into power, try to reform Indian education. Please. Try to reform Indian education. Very pathetic situation of Indian education. We are creating parrots. We are creating depressed people. We are creating people without vision. People are rushing, the youth of this country is rushing mad for government job. Youth of this country is mad for government job. And one of the important reasons why they are mad, because one who gets government job gets a good family and a good girl and a good dowry in marriage. When the IAS result comes, and when people contact me, they say, oh, that Brahmin IAS, that Kshatriya IAS, that Muslim boy, I will give 20 crore, 50 crore. The youth of this country is mad behind government job. Majority of the youth of this country wants to become servant. I read a statement about Ramvilas Paswan that 1965 he became a DSP And 1966 possibly he won the legislative election in Bihar. And then one of his friends said, now you have two options. Either you can become a servant or government. He resigns from DSP. He said, I will become government. And whenever you have low vision, your goal in life is to become IS. Goal. Just imagine such a small goal, IS. IS was not the goal of SC Bose. He qualifies IS. He qualifies IS. People have a goal. People qualify state service exam and they write, thanks God, my goal is completed. Finish. DSP, CTO, sale tax officer, buzz. Goal should be something beyond the imagination of the people around you. You are moving towards your goal. In between you qualify IAS, you became a lawyer, you became a doctor, you became an engineer. That is a different thing. In between you did all these things. Government school situation is very bad. Private schools, my God. Thanks to Supreme Court that they gave the order that interview of parents will not be taken. When I went for the admission of my elder daughter, the principal said you have to give interview. I said again? Again means? You have came here for the second time? I said no, simply I was asking. Okay, you can take the interview. And then the principal said to me, what is the role of morality in the society? I said, madam, please. It's a useless question. Morality has no value. She said, excuse me? I said, madam, I entered into your campus. I did not say good morning to your gatekeeper. But when I came here, I knocked your room, I took the permission, I came inside, I said good morning to you, and you did not reply. If I would have said good morning to your gatekeeper, he would have replied. You did not reply. You know why? Utility. Morality should be thrown in dustbin. The first priority of every individual should be to create his or her utility. After getting utility, if you develop morality, you are incarnation. I am not against morality, but first thing is utility. Don't destroy your life behind morality. First thing is utility. She turned to my daughter. She started asking questions to my daughter. My daughter turned to me. You said to me to take me to the mall. Why we are here and who is she asking questions to me? I said, beta, just give answer to it. She said no. And then the principal said, you father and daughter, you get out from here. Although after 1 week she took the admission. You cannot take rivalry with bureaucracy. And that is the grace of God. Very pathetic situation of education in this country. No. In pre-modern world, education and law were the monopoly of religion. You see Muslims today, they have differences with the people of all religion. You know why? Law and education is still the monopoly of religion among Muslims. Law and education is still the monopoly of religion among Muslims. In other religions, they have accepted that law and education will be in the hand of the state. French Revolution, and then National Assembly establishes National Educational Council. In which year it was established in India? 1906, during Swadeshi movement. But before National Assembly would do anything big in this National Educational Council, National Assembly became the victim of internal trouble, I told you, confusion and conflict. The important development in education, modern education, was done by Napoleon. He established the structure of modern education. Primary school, then secondary school, then higher education. What the structure which you see today, that was established by him. But his education policy had certain drawbacks. First drawback, women were entitled only up to secondary education. Napoleonism was the part of the syllabus. Napoleonism was the part of the syllabus. Man ki baat, glorification of Napoleon. And he established normal schools. To train the teachers of higher education. What they were trained? Commitment and dedication to nation and Napoleon. Sixth, Napoleon's code. I said law was the monopoly of religion in pre-modern world. He started codifying laws. Napoleon, he started codifying laws on secular lines. CRPC, CPC, Marriage Act, Commercial Code, he said that the world will not remember me for my 40 wars. He says that the world will not remember me for my 40 wars. I will be remembered for my contribution to the modern legal system. These were the reforms of Napoleon. Peace with Europe. Political reforms. When he becomes autocrat. Economic reforms. Superficial, neglecting the basic reforms. Culture. Concord. But Pope and Catholics are dissatisfied. Education is also disappointing. Napoleon Code has started evolution. It was in the nascent stage. He succeeds in bringing France on track. He succeeds in maintaining peace and stability in France. But the drawbacks of his reforms irritated the intellectuals in France. He succeeds in maintaining peace and stability in France. But the drawbacks in his reforms irritated the French intellectuals. And in that scenario, his blunders, proved fatal for him. So next heading, Blunders of Napoleon. First blunder, war with Europe. (1799) he says, peace with Europe. 1805, policy of aggression. Such a drastic shift in his policy within 6 years. Now this is to be discussed. Why such a big shift? 1799 he says peace with Europe. 1805 policy of aggression. Why? Simple. Very simple. His superficial economic reforms started collapsing. After all, there is a limit for public work, na? There is a limit for agricultural development. How many roads, canals you will go on constructing? His superficial reforms started collapsing after some time. He has given the slogan, Achhe Din. When his superficial reforms started collapsing, and he has given the slogan Achhe Din, people turned towards him. Now what he will do? See what is happening with Mr. Modi after Corona case, Corona episode. Economic downfall. No one is trying to understand what has really happened. Economy of India was already weak when Modi became Prime Minister. Then his policies to overhaul the system did not give the result up to the mark. And before he would try to control the situation, Corona comes. No one is trying to connect it. Everyone says Modi is responsible. What you see today? Same thing. His superficial reforms started collapsing. He has said Achhe Din. People turned towards him. You know what he will do? And the easiest way to distract the mind of the people is war. In this scenario, he adopts the policy of aggression. And this policy of aggression did two things. First thing, it started increasing the glory of Napoleon, and it provided employment and prosperity to his soldiers, to his people. He fought approximately 40 wars, in which the important battles were Austerlitz, Iana, very important. Iana, very important. Austerlitz, Iana, Ialu. And in this way, he was successful in distracting the mind of his people. Every time his people used to stand up, employment, poverty, he used to take out his people. He come. He used to roam in entire Europe, come back with wealth, and war was not a big burden for him. Now, very important point. The country which was suffering from economic crisis, how that country was able to fight so many wars? This is again an important question. Country was in economic crisis. How he was successful in fighting so many wars? I missed that point. When he defeated Austria, first assignment, Treaty of Campo Formio, he took all the expenditure of that war from Austria. He took all the expenditure of war from Austria. Not a single pie. He did not impose any new tax on the French people. He gave the gift of Campo Formio free of cost. People said, any tax? He said, no. He was an army commander. He knew the art of war, and he used to take war expenditure from the defeated forces. You got my point? War was not a burden for him. He was an army commander. And he used to take war expenditure from the defeated forces. His people used to get employment and prosperity. In this way, initially war became very useful for him. He succeeded in distracting the mind of his people. But this policy proved harmful for him in a longer run. Because finally, Europe united and defeated him in the Battle of Leipzig. Germany, 1813, and Battle of Waterloo, 1815. क्या हुआ? क्या हुआ यूडी?
नहीं मेरे को लगा मैंने रिकॉर्डिंग चालू की नहीं ऐसे सर ने कहा मेरे को वो देखे उसने देखा और सर आ गया.
अच्छा.
ऐसा कभी भी बैटरी नहीं चेक करना.
हाँ, this was the first blunder. Second blunder, trouble with Spain. Whenever you go to temple, mosque, church, gurdwara, you should ask only one thing from Almighty. And I tell you, it will be very beneficial. People don't know what to ask from God. You should ask only one thing from Almighty: wisdom. This is the only thing to be asked from Almighty, only. And once you get wisdom, nothing becomes impossible for you. You demanded money, and your mind is like Louis XVI, what you will do? You demanded billions and billions of rupees and you got it. And you had a son or daughter like Muhammad Shah Rangila. Wisdom. This mind can take you to the top of the world, and this mind can bring you on the ground. So whenever you go to any holy place, just say to Almighty, "Ki God, please keep your hand on my head. And I want only one thing from you, wisdom." Because this man, you see how he succeeds? From a middle class, he becomes the emperor of France. And now, he is destroying everything by himself. Britain and Portugal, neighbors, friends. France, Spain, Britain and France, neighbors and rivals. Portugal and Spain, neighbors but rivals. And the formula is enemies, enemy is a friend. So France, Britain and France are enemies. Portugal and Spain are enemies. And on this principle, Britain and Portugal became friends, and France and Spain are friends. And this is called as natural ally. China, Japan, rivals. India, Japan, rivals. So India and Japan are friends. Spain, natural ally. But his attitude towards Spain, his behavior towards Spain turned this natural ally into a dangerous enemy. First thing, a regular violation of sovereignty of Spain. If you want to maintain the relations forever, you have to give space in a relation, every. Allow your girlfriend, boyfriend to be free. If your girlfriend is not calling you throughout the day, allow her to live. If your boyfriend is not calling you throughout the day, allow him to live. Give space in a relation. People give a call to your wife. If the wife is not picking, continuous calls, call per call, call on call, 600 missed call. And by chance, wife has put it on vibration mode and she has slept. Space. Space is very important. Space and respect. If you maintain these two things, relations will be forever. Your best friend, you know that he will never say no to you on any issue. But then also, if you are taking a pen from him, from his dashboard, from his table, ask, can I take your pen? He'll say to you, why are you asking such a small thing? You say no. Respect. And space. I tell you, your relations will be maintained throughout your life. People don't understand these small things. Spain was the friend of Napoleon. Whenever Napoleon went on expedition to Portugal, he entered into Spanish territories without taking the permission of the Spanish king. And this was an attack on the sovereignty of Spain. And this was the pain for Spanish people and Spanish king. Fine, he is your friend. What is wrong in asking? What is wrong in taking a formal permission? Second, Ferdinand episode. Charles was the king of Spain. Charles was not able to handle the situation. So Charles leaves the throne in the favor of Ferdinand. Ferdinand was not in the good books of Napoleon. Napoleon enters into Spain, removes Ferdinand. Very good. But then you should have taken someone from the Ferdinand's family or Charles' family. He removes Ferdinand and puts his brother Joseph, his own brother Joseph, on the throne of Spain. This was a blunder by him. When he puts his brother Joseph on the throne of Spain, you had a dispute with your friend, you will occupy his house and you will give to his brother, and you will give his house to your brother. When he puts Joseph on the throne of Spain, that was the clear-cut message that Napoleon is not the friend of Spain. Napoleon is conqueror of Spain. Conqueror. By this single move, he becomes the conqueror of Spain. You should have done the regime change with someone local. You should have taken someone from the Spanish royal family. Now when Joseph became the king, Joseph wanted to have a name and fame like Napoleon. He started land reforms in Spain. But if your stars are not in a good position, dog will bite you if you are sitting on the back of a camel. Sometimes you do the things simply for fun and it gives great result. And sometimes people do the things very seriously and they fail. You will see in life. One of my friend's brother, he did not wanted to appear in IAS examination. But my friend was very much adamant, you should appear for civil service examination, you should give examination. And he came to me and said, Bhaiya, please ask Bhaiya not to force me to appear in civil service. I'm not interested. Abhi, maine kaha, yaar, you sit down in the coaching class for a year. You learn something, then you go back. Have some girlfriend here in the class. At least, and if by chance your girlfriend becomes IAS officer, that will also be achievement. Are, he said, Bhaiya, what you are teaching me? But then he listened to me and he sat in the class. He got 217 rank. When you do the things in fun, you don't have any pressure. And whenever you will work without pressure, there is a possibility of good results. Joseph started land reforms in Spain. He took the land from feudal lords, and gave it to the landless laborers. Very good step. Appreciable. Iltutmish, you heard the name of Iltutmish. He was the first Delhi Sultan. So when he became Sultan, a group of Maulanas came to him and said, implement death or Islam in Hindustan. Iltutmish had a spiritual guru, Qutubuddin Bakhtiyar Kaki. He went to Qutubuddin Bakhtiyar Kaki and said, these Maulanas are asking me to implement death or Islam in Hindustan. Kaki said, what is the value of your crown? He said, 5 crores. Bole, what is the value of the cap of a Maulana? He said, 5 rupees. Bole, idiot, then think. Idiot, think. The value of the cap of a constable is 50 rupees. CO is 1000. SSP 10,000. IG 50,000. And a person thinks according to the value of the cap on the head. Kaki said the value of your crown is 5 crore. An idiot, you are thinking like a Maulana. 90% non-Muslims are there in this country. We are 10. 95% non-Muslims. 5% Muslims. 5% is ruling 95%. Why? Because of the absence of unity in these 95%. Absence of unity in this 95%. These Brahmins don't want to see the Kshatriyas. Kshatriyas don't want to see the Brahmins. Both of them don't want to see the Vaishyas, and all the three are against Shudras. This is our strength. And if you will keep the hand on religion, all this 95 will unite. And when this 95 will unite, मैं तो convert हो जाऊंगा. I will immediately go for conversion. From Kaki, I will become Kaka. You bother about yourself. Iltutmish returns back and reprimands the Maulana. Get out from here. But idiots. What is the message of the story? The message is कि never turn majority into your enemy. Never allow never have many rivals at one time. He did land reforms, and this united whom? The feudal lords of Spain. And these feudal lords, they gave the slogan Spanish nationalism. What was the opium in pre-modern world? Religion. What is the opium in modern world? Nationalism. Feudal lords gave the slogan Spanish nationalism. Therefore, as Deccan proved to be suicidal for Aurangzeb, similarly Spain proved to be suicidal for Napoleon. Aurangzeb, Napoleon. Deccan proved to be suicidal for Aurangzeb. He also lacked good advisors. He was a talented man, a man who knew how to do the labor, honest, but he lacked good advisors. He was haughty, arrogant, and a man of average mind. He was not like Akbar. He failed to use his friends. Akbar used his enemies. I told you that story of Shivaji, Rajput policy of Akbar. Rajputs, anyone who sat on Delhi used to move towards Gujarat. In between Delhi and Gujarat, Rajasthan, the land of warriors. And Rajputs have created trouble for everyone. And when Akbar became the king, they again created the trouble. And the confidence of Rajput is the terrain, a desert of Rajasthan. And then Akbar said to Birbal, Birbal, find out what these Rajputs want. Birbal said, sir, they want two things. He said, what? Birbal said, sir, they want respect, honor. Arey bola, give them. Fill the bags full of respect and honor and give it to the Rajputs. So Rajputs were given high sounding titles, Rana and all. Second thing, Akbar said, what they want? They said, sir, they want to fight. Arey, Akbar said, very good, yaar. Mansingh was appointed as a governor of Kabul. On one side, Afghanis. They also have a problem. On the other side, Rajputs. Both were fighting. Akbar enjoying the dance of Anarkali. This is called as talent. When you use your enemies, when you turn your enemies into your friend and use them for your cause, that is talent. He is not able to use his friends. Many Muslims get very angry. Sir, you don't know about Aurangzeb? Yeah. He was a very great man. Caliph Umar was very great. He was a good man. I am discussing him as an emperor. You are talking as a human being. He may be good as a human being, but I am considering him as an emperor. I was sitting in the office of Pragatshil Samajwadi Party. Arif Khan is a minority chief. He started discussing with me. You don't know anything about Aurangzeb. Arey bhaiya, maine kaha, you are talking as a man, na? As a man he was good. I am discussing as a king. No, sir. As a king also he was very good. Arey. (1680) Shivaji died. 1680 Shambhaji became the Maratha king. 1680 Aurangzeb's son Akbar revolted against Aurangzeb. And when Aurangzeb started chasing him, no one was ready to give shelter to Aurangzeb. No one was ready to give shelter to Akbar. And then Akbar turned towards Deccan. And Shambhaji said to Akbar, Bhai, please come. We have a long history of fighting against your father. Don't worry. And when Shambhaji gave shelter to the rebel son of Aurangzeb, Aurangzeb said, enough is enough. Your father misbehaved with me and now you? 1685, Aurangzeb takes the bag and moves towards Deccan. 1686, he ends Golconda. 1687, he ends Bijapur, Iraq and Syria. After ending Bijapur and Golconda, he turns towards Maratha. 1689, he caught Shambhaji at a place called Sangrameshwar. He kills Shambhaji. Now when you killed Shambhaji, you should have taken someone from the Shambhaji's family and put him on the Maratha throne. You should have done the deal with that person. The issue would have been over. He kills Shambhaji. He takes Shahu, the son of Shambhaji, as a hostage. Now with whom you will fight? You are playing the game of chess. There is no king on the other side. Will you continue the game? No. In the game of chess and monarchy, who is important? King. There is no king. There is no king on the other side. There is no king on the other side. With whom you are fighting? People. Soldiers. 1689 to 1707. Imagine, he was fighting with the people. There was no king on the other side. And Deccan is a tough terrain. He used to go into the north, people used to throw stone from the south. He rushed to the south, people used to throw stone from the east. He turned towards east, people threw stone from the west. He turned, merry-go-round. Finally, he was tired, exhausted, drained up. In 1705, the old man sits in Aurangabad crying. Crying, sir, crying. He writes a letter to his eldest son, Shah Alam ki beta, I haven't done anything good in my life. And don't listen to these foolish Maulanas. And today, Maulanas had made him the superstar. And now they are misusing the masses. He himself says, he accepts his mistake. That is his greatness, accepting the mistake. What Aurangzeb did in Deccan, Napoleon, who's the king of France, Spain? Your own brother Joseph. And when people stood up against Joseph, you should have slapped Joseph. Our mothers are more smart than this man, Napoleon. You see, you have badly beaten the son of your neighbor, and the neighbor comes with her son to your mother. You see what your son has done to my son, and your neighbor's son is bleeding. And then your mother brings the axe from inside and runs behind you. And when she runs, your neighbor, which has come to your mother, she only holds your mother. Bahanji, please, leave Bahanji. The lady who came demanding punishment for you, now she is saving you. And when she goes back, your mother locks the door from inside, turns towards you and says, sorry beta. You should have slapped Joseph, brought him down. You should have taken someone from the Charles or Ferdinand's family. You should have placed him on the Spanish throne. Game would have been over. But he takes it on his ego. These Spanish beggars, they will raise the voice against me. I am the conqueror of Europe. As Deccan became the ulcer for Aurangzeb, Spain became the ulcer for Napoleon. As Deccan drained out all the resources of Aurangzeb, Spain drained out all the resources of Napoleon. And this became very harmful for Napoleon and Aurangzeb. Third blunder, continental policy. I have already discussed continental policy. Now I said to you that if Pakistan, India, Nepal, Bangladesh, if Pakistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, they cut off their ties with China or America, will they survive? No. These beggars of Europe, they cut off their ties with Britain. They started suffering. I said Napoleon used to smuggle his necessity goods from Britain. When they started suffering, the friends of Napoleon, Russia and all, Russia left him. They slowly started leaving him on continental policy. And when they slowly started leaving him on continental policy, that was the irritation for Napoleon. You will go away from me. Russia was in very big trouble. Russia leaves. Russia was the friend of Napoleon. Treaty of Tilsit. But when Russia leaves Napoleon on the issue of continental policy, Napoleon was angry against Russia. And this led to the fourth blunder, war with Russia. Russia, by the Treaty of Tilsit, Russia was the friend of Napoleon. But the tension starts on the issue of marriage. Napoleon has heard that Alexander I, the ruled Tsar of Russia, Tsar. Napoleon has heard that Alexander I, Tsar of Russia, has two beautiful daughters. He sends his ambassador with the marriage proposal. Tsar was a funny man. Every moment enjoyment. Outspoken. So when French ambassador reached into his court and said the proposal of Napoleon, ki, sir, my boss wants to marry your daughter. Alexander said, very good, yaar, but there are two problems in it. First problem, we marry only in royal family. But then we can neglect it because now your boss is ruling entire Europe. Second problem is a genuine problem. Ambassador said, what? He said, yaar, my daughter's height is 6'2". And your boss height 5'4". तो पहुंचेगा कैसे? How he will reach? Entire court started laughing. The idiot ambassador, when he returned back, he should have edited the things. He narrates the story in the same way. He said, Tsar was saying ki, and then Napoleon said ki, wait, I will tell him how I will reach. He was already irritated with Tsar, and in this scenario, when Tsar leaves continental policy, Napoleon, to irritate Tsar, organizes a grand darbar. Where? Warsaw. Warsaw is the capital of Poland. And there is a hidden agreement between Europe and Russia that no European country will sit in Poland. Poland will act as a buffer between Russia and Europe. As Tibet will be the buffer between China and India. As Afghanistan will be the buffer between Central Asia and India. But he organizes the Grand Darbar in Warsaw, violating the agreement. Border dispute starts, and then Napoleon attacks Russia. When Napoleon attacked Russia, Russian forces started running towards Siberia. Psychological step. When you beat someone and a person starts running, you start chasing, you start enjoying. Ki dauda dauda ke mara. Ki I have chased and I have beaten. And finally the Russian forces reached in Siberia. Temperature -40, -50. These French soldiers were not accustomed. Majority of the soldiers got freezed. Freezed. If a soldier was standing in this way, he stood in that way only. His 3/4 army was destroyed in Siberia. Siberia proved to be the graveyard of Napoleon's army. And when Europe heard about the destruction of 3/4 army of Napoleon, that was a right opportunity for them to take action against Napoleon. And while he was returning back from Siberia, 1813 Battle of Leipzig in Germany, the united forces of Europe stood in Leipzig against him, defeated Napoleon. 1813 Napoleon was defeated, and then he was taken as a prisoner to Elba. Royal prisoner, royal. He was defeated, but he had such a big aura. No one dared to misbehave with him. He was taken as a royal prisoner to Elba. Attitude is a bad thing. One should not have attitude. But if you have, maintain it. Like Saddam Hussein. Gaddafi failed to maintain. Finally, he was caught hiding in a water pipe and he was crying. My sons, please leave me. People dragged him out and killed him brutally. Common people, they are very dangerous. Very dangerous. Never enter into the mob. Mind it. Sometimes you see on the roadside, people have caught a chain snatcher, road holder, pickpocket, and then all 30, 40 people start beating. You get worried, compassionate. You want that person to be handed over to police, and then you go in between the mob and you say, this is wrong. And then if anyone from the mob turned towards you and said, he is the friend of this man, the entire mob will turn towards you and you will be killed. From the main building of Rajendra Nagar, I will go to the class of Karol Bagh. Karol Bagh. And people have caught a thief and they were beating. And they hit him one shot in such a way that he fell and died on the ground. My colleague was with me. He said, let's go and save. I said, you go. Don't enter into the mob. Unless and until you have AK-47. If you have AK-47, then you enter. The mob turns towards you, take out AK-47 and you're a DM, SP, 50,000 people are standing in your office outside your, don't out, come out. Send the subordinate officer and find out the leader of the mob. Bring the leader inside. Appreciate him. Kya Pandey ji, you look like Shah Rukh Khan, you behave in this way. Bring cold drink for Pandey ji. Put PP. Pesticide. Put pesticide and bring. Don't go into mob means insane people. It is said now mob has no face, mob has no psychology. Mob means insane people. Saddam Hussein was the man of attitude till his death. There is a speech on YouTube of I think 11-12 minutes. Please listen that speech. Saddam Hussein is bigger than Saddam Hussein to defend Saddam Hussein. And then attitude. He was imprisoned in Elba. He comes out from Elba. When he was in Elba, the people of France started screaming. He has given enjoyment to his people for 15, 16 years. People started screaming. Where is our Napoleon? And when he heard that my people are crying for me, he comes out of Elba and he says to the soldiers outside Elba, my name is Napoleon. He walked in between thousands of soldiers and no one dared to stop him. You can imagine the aura of that person. He reaches France, Paris. When he reaches Paris, Europe was alarmed. Austria was surprised. Britain immediately sends a delegation. Britain immediately sends the message, we were not present in Leipzig. Austria sends a delegation to ask forgiveness. Because everyone knew now he will unite again, create a new force and he will beat everyone one by one and the first turn will be of Austria. But he committed the last blunder. He committed the last blunder. He got up and he started pleading to Europe for peace. Last blunder. Pleading, he started saying to Europe, please forgive me. No more war. Now I will not fight. Britain immediately said, come back. Let's unite again. The Napoleon of which we have fear is dead. I've seen that movie, Apparent. Ajay Devgan. So that inspector says, CEO says to Ajay Devgan, if you want to escape from here, you can escape. He says, no. हमारे धंधे में तुम भाग नहीं सकते. You cannot run away in our business. हमारे धंधे में तुम भाग नहीं सकते. There is no chance. His entire aura was shattered. Europe once again united and defeated him in 1815 in the Battle of Waterloo, and then he was taken to St. Helena, where he died in 1821. And this was the end of the saga of a superstar of Europe. 1815, he died. Europe took the sigh of relief. But now the question in front of Europe, he has shattered the entire structure of Europe. And now the question in front of Europe was to reorganize Europe. So in 1915, another important incident is Vienna Congress. And now we'll start 1815. Napoleon was removed from power. In 1815, Napoleon was removed from power, and this was a sigh of relief. In 1815, Napoleon was removed from power, and this was a sigh of relief for the old order in Europe. Sigh of relief for the old order in Europe. Why? Why it was a sigh of relief for the old order in Europe? Because he was a spreading agent. He was a spreading agent, spreading. He was a spreading agent of what? The ideals of French Revolution. He was a spreading agent of the ideals of French Revolution. 1815, Napoleon was removed from power. Napoleon was removed from power, and this was a sigh of relief. This was a sigh of relief for old order in Europe, because he was a spreading agent, He was a spreading agent for the ideals of French Revolution in Europe. And this led to Vienna Congress of 1815. Write down the new heading, Vienna Congress. This led to Vienna Congress of 1815. Vienna Congress of 1815, Vienna Congress. So write down the new heading, Vienna Congress. Vienna Congress of 1815. What and why? Vienna is the capital of Austria. Vienna. Vienna is the capital of Austria. First heading, why? This Congress was organized by Metternich, the Chancellor of Austria. Organized by Metternich, the Chancellor of Austria. Chancellor. Objective. What was the objective? 3 objectives. First objective, to re-establish the old order in Europe. To re-establish and strengthen the old order in Europe, which was given setback by whom? Napoleon. To re-establish and strengthen the old order in Europe, which was given setback by Napoleon. Second, to maintain balance of power. To maintain balance of power, so that no one can become so much powerful to create the threat for entire Europe. Awake Metternich, it is NICH. Metternich. To maintain balance of power in Europe so that no one can become so much powerful to disturb the establishment of Europe. Third, to recover the losses given by Napoleon. To recover the losses given by Napoleon. These were the three main objectives of Vienna Congress. First objective, to establish and strengthen the old order, to maintain the balance of power, to recover the losses given by Napoleon. To recover the losses given by Napoleon. What were the important decisions of Vienna Congress? Important decisions. What was the important decisions of Vienna Congress? First important decision, principle of legitimacy. Principle of legitimacy. Principle of legitimacy. Principle of legitimacy. Now, what was this principle of legitimacy? Representative of old order, monarchy. Representative of new order, parliament. Representative of old order, monarchy. Representative of new order, parliament. And when Napoleon roamed in entire Europe, he tried to establish parliament. When Napoleon roamed in entire Europe, he tried to establish parliamentary form of government. Tried to establish parliamentary form of government. And this was he tried to establish parliamentary form of government. Example, Italy. There were a number of Italian states. There was no Italy at that time. Italy was in a condition like India before 1947. So there were many Italian states. He integrates all the Italian states into three big states, and he himself became the president of those states. So he was giving setback to monarchy, and if monarchy will be weakened, it will lead to the weakening of the old order. weakening of the old order. If monarchy will be weakened, if monarchy will be weakened, it will lead to the weakening of old order. Clear? If monarchy will be weakened, it will lead to the weakening of old order. Is this clear? Now, under principle of legitimacy, the objective was to return the states to their old ruling families. To return the states disturbed by Napoleon. To return the states disturbed by Napoleon to their old ruling families. Example. To return the states to their old ruling families. To return the states disturbed by Napoleon to their old ruling families. Example, France was given back to Bourbon dynasty. Who became the king? Louis XVIII. Holland was given back to Orange dynasty. Orange, papal states, Papa ke states. Who was this Papa? Pope. Papal states, papal. The states controlled by Pope. Naples, Sicily were given back to Pope. Were given back to Pope. So strengthening of monarchy will lead to strengthening of old order. This was the first decision. Strengthening of monarchy will lead to strengthening of old order. Strengthening of monarchy will lead to strengthening of old order. First point, clear? Principle of legitimacy. Strengthening of monarchy will lead to strengthening of old order. Harpreet. Ashish. Strengthening of monarchy will lead to strengthening of old order. Great. Second feature. Principle of compensation. Principle of compensation. अब ये क्या बवाल है? Principle of compensation. The objective was to recover the losses given by Napoleon. Which losses? Napoleon, write as a note, Napoleon used to take war expenditure from the defeated countries. Which expenditure? War. He defeats Austria, he takes all war expenditure from Austria. This was the reason that he was worshipped by the people of France. आवाज दे दो. This was the reason that the people of France worshipped him. He was God for the people of France. No money. Treaty of Campo Formio, he returns back, defeating Austria and Italy. People said कि पैसा कितना देना है? बोला कोई पैसा नहीं, फ्री. बोले फ्री? हाँ. बोला yes. So whenever he used to defeat a country, he used to take war expenditure from that country. So war was never a burden for France. And he defeated Europe many times. Principle of compensation, to recover the losses given by Napoleon. Under it, the main beneficiaries were. Under it, the main beneficiaries were, first one, main beneficiaries. First one, Russia retained Poland. Retained. Russia already claimed Poland. So Russia retained Poland, and the new gift was Finland. New gift to Russia, Finland. Austria. Austria retained Venice. The additional gift, she got guardianship of Italian states. She got guardianship of Italian states. Italian. The small German and Italian states whose rulers were not traced. Small German and Italian states whose rulers, there were many rulers who ran away because of the fear of Napoleon. So small German and Italian states whose rulers were not traced. हाँ तो reaffirmation. The small Italian and German states whose rulers were not traced were given to Prussia and Sardinia. This strengthened their position and they played the important role in this strengthened their position, and they played the important role in unification of Germany and Italy. This was second decision. Third, formation of alliances. Formation of alliances. Why? Precaution. Precaution. In case the incidents like Napoleon and French Revolution will be repeated, in case the incidents like French Revolution and Napoleon will be repeated, Europe will unite and take the action. Who will unite? Europe. Europe will unite and take the action. In case Europe will unite and take the action. The first proposal was given by Tsar Alexander I of Russia. What was the proposal? Holy Alliance. What was the proposal? Holy Alliance, holy Alliance, that is the alliance of Christian powers. Christian powers to protect Christianity and Christians. Holy Alliance, holy Alliance to protect the Christian powers. Unity of Christian powers to protect Christianity and Christians. But aristocracy and common people, these two groups will remain forever, till the doomsday. No one can end it. No one can. No one. And the philosophies of both the groups are different. Different, upside down, reverse. For them, relation depends upon interest. For them, relation depends upon religion, caste, region, etc. All the things which are created by human being, all, they are created to divide them. The reason they are 2%, they are 98%. So if they will not be divided, they will control all the resources of this world. How they will enjoy? How they will enjoy? After all, they have to enjoy, na? So max to max, they can move in Swift Desire, but for them, Rolls Royce. Now, everyone cannot have Rolls Royce. This law, divide and rule, is a basic law of this world. Basic. Shia, Sunni, Ahmadiyya, Druze, Kurd, they all are Muslims. They all believe in the same formula. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. All. Then why they are fighting? जब मोहम्मद एक है, अल्लाह एक है, तो लड़ने की जरूरत ही कहां है? तो फिर लड़ने की जरूरत ही कहां है? पर है। और ये बात एक आम मुसलमान कभी नहीं समझेगा ही नहीं। I was in Srinagar in a house of a staunch Sunni. Wasim Bhai. So Wasim Bhai used to say to me, if I meet a Shia and a Hindu, so first I will beat the Shia. Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. This is a spiritual division plus social division, both. Caste system was born. Majority Hindus don't know in which period caste system was born. This is Varna system. This is not caste system. This is Varna system. And I can bet 200,000% that majority Hindu don't know in which period caste system was born. But they are fighting on caste system. This is not caste system. This is Varna system. Varna means duty. It is the duty of a Kshatriya to protect. Caste means profession. Potter is a caste. Weaver is a caste. Potter is not a Varna. Weaver is not a Varna. If you have done my NCERT course, Ancient India, you must be aware about it. It is already free of cost on YouTube. Ancient India. Entire R.S. Sharma, all the chapters of R.S. Sharma. But see, Hindus, they are fighting. They don't know why caste system was born. They don't know कि क्यों पैदा हुआ. But they are fighting. And this will go on forever. 1,050 crore population. इनको लड़ाओगे नहीं तो खुद मजा कैसे लोगे? तो अब्दुल्ला साहब की बेटी सचिन पायलट से शादी करेगी, कोई बवाल नहीं होगा, कोई कयामत नहीं होगी, कोई इस्लाम खतरे में नहीं पड़ेगा. शाहरुख खान गौरी से शादी करेगा, कोई बवाल नहीं होगा. बट इफ अ कॉमन मुस्लिम एंड अ हिंदू विल मैरी विद ईच अदर, अरे बाप रे. खैर अब तो मामला बिगड़ भी गया है. अब तो मामला बिगड़ भी गया है. अब तो चीजें बिगड़ भी गई हैं. देयर इज disturbances, no doubt. There are so many evidences and proofs. अब वो लव मैरिज वाली बात नहीं है, अब कुछ और ही है. एंड दिस विल हैपन फॉर एवर, ये कयामत तक चलेगा और तुम रोक नहीं पाओगे. हाँ, यू कैन कंट्रोल फॉर सम टाइम if you come into power. If you try to eliminate, then you will be eliminated. You can control, you cannot eliminate, because this is designed by aristocracy. Everyone agrees कि हाँ भैया रहने दो, जब मौका पड़ेगा लड़ा देंगे इनको. And Britain, small island, ruled the entire world. We are a nation because of them. Britain said to Tsar Alexander I कि चाचा गलत बोल रहे हो. Relation does not depend upon religion. We are not the part of it. हम इसका हिस्सा नहीं है. Relation depends upon interest. तुम दुनिया में दुश्मन बनाना छोड़ दो, महान बन जाओगे. बस एक मेरा फॉर्मूला याद रखो. Anyone who becomes your enemy sits here. Anyone, अगर तुम मुसलमानों से नफरत करते हो तो तुम्हारा मुसलमान यहां बैठ जाएगा. Anyone whom you will hate will sit here. He will occupy a place in your head. कहते हैं ना, किसी को बर्बाद करना है उसे नफरत सिखा दो. Kill, but don't hate. मार डालो, नफरत मत करो. Because hatred will destroy you. Hatred मत करो. No hatred. You see today the level of hatred which has increased. And the main reason is population. 10 रोटी है, 1000 लोग खाने वाले हैं, कैसे चलेगा? Population. So Britain said we are not the part of it. हम इसके हिस्से नहीं है. And Britain was a power. It was not possible to neglect Britain. So, second proposal, quadruple alliance. Quadruple, which included Britain, Russia, Austria, Prussia. Britain, Russia, Austria, Prussia. Later on, when France paid up its compensation, France also became the part of it. And then it was called as Concert of Europe. Later on, when France paid up its compensation, France also became the part of it. And then it was called as Concert of Europe. This was the third point. Clear? Fourth decision, suppression of nationalism. Suppression of nationalism, suppression of nationalism. Why? Why suppression of nationalism? In pre-modern world, religion was the binding force. In modern world, nation is the binding force. In Gupta period, there was no nation. So how people will die on nation? So people were ready to die for religion. बस मैं एक ही चीज चाहता हूं कि तुम समझ जाओ, पढ़ाना वढ़ाना मेरा काम नहीं, और समझ गए तो तुम जीत गए। और जब समझ जाना तो बाहर जाके मत बताना, नेता मत बनना, अरे भाई साहब रिलीजन इज बॉर्न टू एक्सप्लॉइट। बहुत मारेंगे लोग डंडा लेकर, बहुत, ये बेहोश मरे हुए लोग। मुर्दों को मत उठाना। इफ यू विल ट्राई टू अवेकन द डेड देन दे विल मेक यू डेड। ये गलती मत करना। Until and unless you come into power. When you come into power, eliminate. समझाना मत। लोग जब समझने लगते हैं ना तो उनको एक अंदर दर्द होने लगता है, दूसरों को बताएंगे भैया देयर इज नो रिलीजन, भैया भैया रिलीजन इज देयर बट रिलीजन इज नॉट टू फाइट। भैया मजहब नहीं सिखाता आपस में बैर करना, मजहब सिखाता है आपस में बैर करना। एकदम मरो, नेता मत बनो। क्लोज योर आइज। तुमको क्या लगता है लोगों को पता नहीं है? सबको पता है। समझो, अंडरस्टैंड, कम इनटू पावर, फिनिश, इट इज फॉर यू। हाँ, लेट देम फाइट, लेट देम फाइट। लेकिन अगर तुम समझ गए, इफ यू अंडरस्टूड ऑल दीज थिंग्स, tomorrow you will be an IAS officer, day after tomorrow member of parliament, possibly the prime minister of India also, inshallah। ये तुम्हारे लिए है, this is only for you specifically। इसको बोलते हैं education। Education means to make the mind alive। Education does not mean percentage, 98% लाना। क्यों? Recently a girl of class 10th, Saloni Mittal, she has given me a message. Sir, I am in depression, sir. I said, why? She said, I have got 72% marks in 10th. अरे मैंने कहा माता तेरे तो बड़े मार्क्स हैं, mine is 51। When you are weak, don't try to change anything, Madhav. Madhav, when you are weak, don't try to change anything। खुद खाने को है नहीं, सोशल इंस्टिंक्ट रखे हो, ऐसे तो बेसिक इंस्टिंक्ट भी रखे हो, संभालते हो ना, संभाल रहे हो ना। तो जैसे बेसिक इंस्टिंक्ट संभाल रहे हो, ऐसे सोशल इंस्टिंक्ट भी संभाल लो। नेता मत बनना। Pre-modern world, the binding force was religion. Modern world, the binding force is nation. Pakistani, Indian. If you ask a person of a Mughal period, if you say to a person, if you meet, accidentally you meet a person of a Mughal period and you say, Pakistan, वो क्या भाड़ में जा, ये क्या है, पाकिस्तान क्या है? अरे बोले भैया पाकिस्तान नेशन है। अरे कोई नेशन नेशन। बट टुडे यू सी पाकिस्तानी इज रेडी टू डाई फॉर पाकिस्तान, इंडियन इज रेडी टू डाई फॉर इंडियन। किसने बनाया? इंसान ने। वाई? टू डिस्ट्रैक्ट किसको? मिडिल क्लास, टू सॉरी कॉमन पीपल। When I say common, it means dead mind. Kabir is not common. He is not rich, but he is enlightened. So suppression of nationalism, fourth decision. कि बेटा nationalism will be suppressed. Why? So that people cannot unite against monarchy, as they have done in France, 1789. People cannot unite. People cannot unite against monarchy. As they have done in France, 1789. So suppression of nationalism at any cost. And under it, a very good example, suppression of revolt in Naples, 1820. Suppression of revolt in Naples, 1820, in the background of Italian unification. In the background of Italian unification. So first decision, principle of legitimacy. Second decision, principle of compensation. Third decision, formation of alliances. Fourth decision, suppression of nationalism. Finish. Remember these 4 points. You will remember Vienna Congress forever. Vienna Congress clear? Ombir Singh, Madhav. Uzmaz. Now this Vienna Congress was successful. Vienna Congress was successful in maintaining peace and stability for some time. This Vienna Congress was successful in maintaining peace and stability where? Europe. This Vienna Congress was successful in maintaining peace and stability in Europe for some time, but with the passage of time, interest changes. क्या बात है? With the passage of time, interest changes. With the passage of time, interest changes, and change in interest leads to the change in relation. Time, change, and relation. And this is bound to change. Bound. Why you are dying for relations? Time is bound to change. When time will change, interest will change. The moment interest will change, relation will change. Example, if a child of 5 years is having a mobile phone, who will be in the DP? Parents. Parents. 16 years, who will be in the DP? Mother. Because all the work is done through mother. Mama, I have to go, Mama. Ask Papa to give me 20,000. And 32 years, who will be in the DP? Wife. With a small line. My life. You see couples sitting together in the park, restaurant, movie halls. Couples, 15 to 30. Maximum 30. Basically 15 to 25, but 15 to 30 maximum. There are some revolutionaries also. Have you seen a couple of 80 years? A male of 85 years and a female of 80 years sitting in a park with a hand in a hand? No. And when the girl of 20 years, when the guy of 20 years sitting with the girl of 20 years, and the guy says to the girl, कि these are not eyes. ये तुम्हारी आंखें आंखें नहीं है, ये बियर बार है, शराब बह रही है इसमें. And then the girl says, अच्छा तो पी लो. But if a woman of 80 years will stare in the eyes of a man of 85 years, the man will be angry कि बंद कर ले आंखें बुढ़िया, आग उगल रही आग. Your eyes are throwing the fire. समझना है बेटा. बस समझना है. तुम्हारे और मेरे में डिफरेंस क्या है पता है? तुम देखते नहीं हो. यू डोंट वॉच द थिंग्स प्रॉपरली. तुम देखते हो, अटेंशन नहीं देते उस पर. मैं बड़े पार्कों में घूमा, मुझे कोई बुढ़ा कपल ही नहीं मिला कभी. एक्सेप्शन होगा. आई एम नॉट अगेंस्ट एक्सेप्शन, बट एक्सेप्शन आर नॉट लॉज. नथिंग इज परमानेंट. बॉयफ्रेंड चला गया, जाने दो, नेक्स्ट. दूसरा लाओ, दूसरा. गर्लफ्रेंड चली गई, दूसरा लाओ. वैसे भी जाना है सर. नथिंग इज परमानेंट इन दिस वर्ल्ड एक्सेप्ट द वर्ड परमानेंट. So with the passage of time, अच्छा आश्रित निरंकारी, तुम्हारा निरंकारियों का पार्क होगा. ध्यान करते होंगे, पूजा पाठ करते होंगे, या अपनी बहू की बुराई करते होंगे. ऐसे भी कपल बैठते हैं पार्क में, ओल्ड एज. वहां बुढ़ा जो है बुढ़िया का बाल थोड़ी घुमा रहा होगा ऐसे पकड़ पकड़ के दिन भर. हाँ, मॉर्निंग वॉक के लिए आए होंगे, बहू के बारे में कुछ बोलते होंगे. हाँ, वो तो बुढ़े आएंगे ही ना, वो तो आएंगे ही. वो बुढ़ा कपल दिखाओ जो कहता हो बुढ़िया से कि तुम्हारी आंखों में शराब बह रही है. इसलिए when women become old, they get irritated. वो शराब गायब हो जाती है और मेल तारीफ करना बंद कर देता है. तो मोस्ट ऑफ द देखो, बहुत सारी फैमिलीज में क्या होता है, मूवी ने तो बर्बाद कर रखा बेटा लोगों को. हस्बैंड एंड वाइफ सिटिंग विद अ ग्लास ऑफ जूस एंड द 2 स्ट्रॉज इन अ सिंगल ग्लास. बाहर वाले भी कॉपी करते हैं बेटा. वो तो मूवी है बेटा, मूवी. हाँ हाँ, कोई दिखे तो इन्फॉर्म करना आश्रित. कोई दिखे तो इन्फॉर्म करना. इंटरेस्ट चेंजेस विद द पैसेज ऑफ टाइम, एंड द मोमेंट इंटरेस्ट विल चेंज, रिलेशन विल चेंज. कोई बदलता थोड़ी है. जैसे लोग कहते हैं तुम बदल गए. ना ना, कोई नहीं बदलता. ना, गाय इज मैरिड, he has a very big interest with his wife, so definitely he will pay more interest, more attention on the wife. and then the entire family starts feeling कि बदल गया. बदलता नहीं है वो. Interest. The moment interest will change, relation will change. So for some time, Concert of Europe was able to maintain peace in Europe, but with the passage of time, interest started changing, and so there was a change in relation. And after 1850s, the story of Concert of Europe was over. After 1850s, the story was over. The story of Concert of Europe was over. Apart from this, the new forces were active. Capitalism, industrial revolution. The agents of the new order were active, leading to big changes in Europe, in which the most important change in the second half of 19th century was